Hey everyone, Nubkeks here, and welcome to a coaching video for Heroes of the Storm. We're going to be looking at a player called Prothealz in today's video. So Prothealz, he's one of the Diamond level Patreon supporters, that's the right word. So we're going to be looking at his game today. So Diamond level supporters over on Patreon, I do a coaching video for them every 2 weeks, like twice a month. Depends on when people have the time to get a video in, a game in for me to look at. So this is the second one for May. And I thought this was a really interesting game. So yeah, you guys on YouTube are going to get a little bit of a look in this one as well to see what's kind of going on here. I'm going to cover a couple of things before we get into this game though. Number one, my recording software stopped working with I'm not sure if I updated the software or Heroes of the Storm or whatever it was. Anyway, I was using DxTory and it stopped working. So if anyone knows how to fix that, that would be great. I'm trying OBS here today. So let me know how it looks. Does it look better? Does it look worse? Does it run properly? I've no idea, but we're just going to be rolling with it for this. I kind of need to get this done. I don't have time to test stuff out all day long. So yeah, this is the test. I hope it works. Number two, we're going to be looking at Dehaka, and I want to cover a few things about Dehaka. I'm going to give Dehaka a crash course before we go into this video, because I do think that's kind of important, and it's not something that's kind of been covered, shall we say, in this particular one. All right, I'm just checking out the email as well, see what Mr. Prothealz is saying. He doesn't say too much for this one. He's just saying it's an interesting game in Dehaka with a sad ending, and he just wants to point out any of the mistakes. All right, fairly straightforward. I thought it was interesting too that his second, as we discovered in one of the earlier games, right, that he sort of mains healers and supports, but main tanks would be his sort of second pick. So as we go into this, I want to point out, in terms of where does Dehaka fit in the meta, right? Crash course in Dehaka. What does he do, especially this new Dehaka that's been changed in the last patch? What does he do? Where does he fit? What's the deal with this fella? All right, so Dehaka is not a main tank in the current meta. I think there was like a patch or two where he kind of could have been, but that patch has been gone for a little while. He's not a main tank. Basically, Dehaka is the second warrior that you draft for your team. So the role of a main tank, so ETC is like a main tank, okay, for the enemy team. The role of a main tank, they're fairly like tanky, they're difficult to kill, they typically have good engage, they can start the team fight themselves, they can, maybe peel for their team a bit, they protect their other heroes, they bring like lots of crowd control, lots of lockdown. Just crowd, CC, stuns, slows, roots, that sort of thing against the enemy team. I mean, Arthas, Anubarak, ETC, Murden, these are all good examples. Dehaka, it doesn't fit in that. Because when you look at Dehaka and his skill sets and what he does, the best place for Dehaka, let's say we're on Cursed Hollow, we're going to take the camera away here. Let's say we're going to put Dehaka up in, well, on the blue side, maybe in the bottom lane. So he would be our solo laner. Dehaka is really built for solo lane because he's got a global with his Brush Stalker. He also doesn't have any gap closers, any mobility. So, I mean, all he does is he can run at people, then he can throw out your Q, but your Q, the drag is it's a difficult skill to hit. It's got a wind-up time to its cast. It's fairly obvious that it's coming, usually, because Dehaka has to, run straight at you. In comparison to ETC, who can obviously power slide in, all that sort of stuff. He also has got pretty good wave clear. It has been nerfed, but it's still pretty decent with Dark Swarm. He's very sustainable within the lane with his Essence Collection. And then he's got the global with Brush Stalker. So that's a huge deal. So he really excels very well in being the second warrior for his team, off in the side lanes. He stays there, he pushes it out with Dark Swarm, soaks it up, he builds up his Essence Collection. He's very difficult to kill because he's Dehaka, he's tanky. He is Burrow, he can dodge skill shots, he can dodge, stuns and stuff if someone tries to gank him. He's got the Essence Collection, so he's, difficult to kill and outtrade. He can Hearthstone and burrow back into the lane with Brush Stalker if he's having a tough time in the lane. He can also sit down here in bottom lane and then burrow up to the top to fight over the tribute, that sort of stuff. So he's classically, he's your solo laner type hero and not your main tank. Not the main tank, someone who's going to be sticking with his team, right? So ETC in comparison, he's going to be sticking with his teammates, roaming around with them, trying to gank for them, set up plays within the lanes and just supporting his team around the map. Dehaka, won't be good at that. He doesn't have a mount. He can't run between lanes very well. He's so much better sitting in the side lane and then coming to the objective, maybe in a flank. Like, let's say, okay, it's over here, people are fighting over the tribute. All right, Dehaka's been in the bottom lane, soaking that up, pushing it in, gonna burrow into this brush, come in behind the enemy team, start doing damage with Dark Swarm, maybe grab someone with drag when he comes in at the flank, pull them back. If they turn around on him, you can use burrow to survive while his team pushes in, and that's how he kind of engages. You've drafted Dehaka here as a main tank, right? You already have Ragnaros, who also fits that same similar sort of mold, right? Well, he doesn't have the global, but Ragnaros is another solo laner, right? On the enemy team, they don't have like a fantastic solo laner. I suppose Illidan would be the best one. But yeah, I mean, you already got Ragnaros, who's kind of the squishy frontliner, damage dealing frontliner, with, you know, good solo lane potential and all that. So you've got 2 range damage dealers and a solo support Lily here. I mean, really you want someone who can, you know, be in the front of your team, zoning out for these squishy heroes, protecting Ragnaros when he goes in as well, putting out lots of CC, actually starting off the fight, because how do you start off the fight? Pretty difficult otherwise. The issue with you being here is, let's say you burrow in behind, the enemy team sees that and they just, you know, dive your team over here. Oh shit, well, all right, I'm coming in the flank. I'll just walk in behind the enemy team. But in the meantime, all of your squishy heroes, the enemy team has jumped on top of them and they're all dead because they don't have a tank to kind of peel or to engage or lock people down properly. So yeah, that's definitely something to note. We can dive into the talents as well. Before I'm gonna hit play then very shortly afterwards. But I just want to. I think it's very important after watching this replay to lay down some of this groundwork. So Dehaka has been changed a lot. I haven't done a video on him. I haven't actually got to play him, but I have been thinking a lot and looking at the sort of the gameplay and the stats and everything. So I think the best talent build actually, well, I think there's a couple of options. The main one is going to be like trait, building into essence collection and building into drag. So that would be tissue regen at 1, which I think you do take in this game. So basically regen globes give you more essence. Then all the essence you collect, it starts increasing your health regen permanently and your maximum essence permanently. So this gives you just a lot more self-sustain, makes you much more dominant in the lane, right? It's probably the most useful one here for the lane. Depending, maybe Enduring Swarm could be good, but generally tissue regen is probably going to be the overall most useful one. So it makes you great in the lane, and hey, health regen and more essence later in the game is pretty nice as well. The quest is good. Level 4 then, one who collects, so getting more essence from minions. Level 7 then, Feeding Frenzy, basic attacks reducing drag's cooldown. Now it's a 15-second cooldown on drag. You get a couple of basic attacks off during the actual drag itself, right? It's a 1.75 second stun, so you get a couple of basic attacks off. So that's, you know, fairly guaranteed, maybe 4 seconds off the cooldown. But I mean, this might add up to something like half cooldown reduction on drag, which is a huge deal. Level 10 then, I think Adaptation. Primal Rage at 13, this is the new talent that really shifts things up. So you get 1% increased attack damage per essence stored. By default, you can have up to 50 essence, so that's 50% bonus to basic attack damage. Once you finish tissue regen, that's you can have 60 essence, so that's 60% bonus attack damage. Level 16, these are all good. I feel like paralyzing enzymes. It depends on the comps. Probably in this game, you know what? Probably elongated tongue might be the best one actually. Yeah. It's just easier to hit on Jaina and Vala, right? With your drag, you might be able to drag Mosh Pit as well. I'm not super sure. Don't know. And then Essence Claws at 20. So your basic attacks slow for a second. And then if it's a hero, you get 5 essence. So you can see like the idea behind this build. It's pretty synergized. Basically, you're off split pushing in the side lanes. You're getting lots of health regen, lots of essence from tissue regeneration. So you're difficult to get out of that lane. One who collects just makes your essence collection and the speed of that quest much better and even more tankier. This is just a great talent in general. Feeding Frenzy, just for bringing loads of drags and crowd control during the team fight. The nerfs to Dark Swarm, longer cooldown, less damage, means that a Symbiosis build less appealing. Whoops, back to Dehaka. Fuck. I'm a professional video streamer, everyone. Adaptation then, so you can be basically... Because of this, because of Primal Rage, you kind of want to keep your essence for as long as possible. Adaptation will allow you to be aggressive in terms of your positioning without having to burn your essence right at the start of the team fight. Primal Rage is going to give you a lot more attack damage and sort of single target focus with Feeding Frenzy and then Primal Rage. I'm very much focused on your basic attacks, right? 16, they're all good. And then Essence Claws at 20. This is where the build, I suppose, even comes together really well. I mean, you're already building for level 20, but you can certainly do it with Dehaka. And this makes everything really nice. You know, your basic attacks are slowing, so that's extra synergy with your stuff. And each attack giving you 5 essence, that's 5% more damage on your next attack. Lets you spend your essence, start regenerating it, getting more basic attacks off, more value. So really nice synergies with that and that stuff. You can also go for maybe, like Enduring Swarm could be really good, I think, against certain, I mean, it seems difficult to use, but I could see this being really strong. Enhanced Agility could also be okay now as well, they buffed it. But Enduring Swarm, maybe it's Symbiosis, and Primal Swarm. This one makes heroes lose 10 armor, so they take 10% more damage. And this one reduces the cooldown of Dark Swarm now. The cooldown of Dark Swarm has been increased. It's been nerfed a little bit a couple of patches ago. So, I mean, it'll still add up, right? I mean, you could get 6 hits off if you hit one hero for the whole thing. So, I mean, 6 hits, that's, you know, 2.4 seconds off. Hitting one hero for the full duration. If you're hitting a 2 or 3, it starts to be really good. So, good against a melee-heavy team. And that would give you more uptime on Enduring Swarm and more uptime on Primal Swarm. So that's definitely an option as well. But I think this sort of Essence-y one is the best thing, probably overall. Anyway, let's hit play. And let's get going here. So yeah, you don't go for that build. But, I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm not an expert because I haven't played this stuff yet. But I do think that this Essence is probably going to be the way to go. But yeah, I mean, right at the start of this game, we have this discussion about who's going to take a solo lane. So Nazeebo wants to take a solo lane. Nazeebo's really not very good at solo laning, and he's okay. He can do it against some heroes, but he's got really high mana costs and pretty weak wave clear at the start, so he's going to get wrecked. So I think at the start of this game, you were kind of saying to your team, Nazeebo take one solo lane and Ragnaros take another one. I'm pretty sure you say this right at the start. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought you did. But yeah, I mean, this is like not super ideal. Okay, yeah, so you do say, you're like, okay, Rag and Nazeebo should be the solo lanes. Like I said, I mean, Dehaka is, out of your team, he's the best solo laner, actually, out of all of your team, right? Dehaka is the best one. Rag's okay, but Dehaka is better. So having Dehaka not be in the solo lane is pretty bad. I mean, you're someone in these awkward spots, like what do you do here? You're good at clearing out the wave, and that's nice. But you don't really have the position to be able to engage, because, I mean, all Dehaka can do is run at people. And how do you counter that? Well, you just walk away while throwing skill shots in his face, and he loses HP. He can't roam between lanes. It's just not good. You're so much better off with, basically, most other warriors, like a Nubkeks, for example. Why would you not play a Nubkeks instead of the Dehaka here? It's just much, much better. Ragnaros actually getting killed down bottom. That sucks. Nice that I actually like this move, coming down to cover for him. It's pretty good. Make sure you get that stuff. That's actually a very good drag as well onto the Regar. That's an excellent drag. Get yourself a kill. So that was well done and well played. I like to see that. We have gone for the tissue regen, by the way. So that's why we've got more than the max essence, which is all nice. Very, very nice. Decent drag on the Illidan as well. I mean, you didn't have much damage to follow up. I think he popped evasion before the drag. This is good damage on him. You spent your essence to heal up, which actually is okay here. And yeah, you're doing well in the lane so far. I mean, you can afford now to take some pretty aggressive trades and push it in fairly aggressively, and then use your burrow to, Hearthstone, heal up and burrow back in, and have plenty of fun. Actually, you probably want to save your burrow for the next the phase should be starting in about 30 seconds. So you probably want to just chill out. You might even tap a well. Maybe. Yeah, you're going to do that. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Let me throw on the pause. So specifically on this map, right? It's about 2 minutes, what? 2 minutes 30 or 40? You can maybe have got a burrow off like Hearthstone there and burrow back in and still made it up to this fight. Wherever it's going to be. The tribute fight. You probably could have made it. I'll actually find out the exact time it spawns. It's about 2:30 when the tribute, maybe 2:20. We'll find out now. When the tribute spawns. Okay, well, it's not 2:20. I should probably know this. But it's always good, by the way, if you could organize it. Like, for example, we've got just Rag in the mid lane here. But if you could organize for someone to take this, I mean, this is bad, by the way. Your 2 dudes are out of mana. To take the siege camp would be really good. On 2 minutes. Yeah, so 2:30 it starts spawning. Yeah, and it takes 15 seconds to activate. Right. So you could maybe have gotten a Hearthstone and a Burrow off to come back and would have kept your well. Yeah, interesting. That's definitely worth playing around though. Certainly with any heroes with the globals to have your global available for when this starts. This should be fairly difficult. So Nazeebo is obviously just not in this fight at all. Li Ming doesn't have much mana. Rag's getting killed to the side. That's a very good drag. Once again, nicely done. Again, Vala should just not be getting hit by that, but she did. The Rag does go down to the side. Okay, good enough damage on the Illidan now. Yeah, you have overchased right here. And you're getting decent damage on him, but with a slowing totem, you're never going to kill him. I think definitely right there. I think that was an interesting case of who is the kill target. Okay, who's the kill target? So right there we had, what was it, Illidan plus ETC, and they're running away. Even though ETC is tankier than Illidan, he had more HP. He was actually the kill target because your teammates were here. He was the one that you could actually probably kill. You tried to kill the other guy and he was able to run away. And oh, hey, the enemy team is coming. Whoops. You're right in the middle of the enemy team. That's not too good. The kill target oftentimes can be a tank. It's just based on positioning mostly. Like who's the easiest target for us to actually get the kill on? And oftentimes that can be the tank. If the tank is out of position, you want to just lock them down and let your damage get on top of them. So I'll try to look out for that sometimes later. Now, ETC does ultimately die. He goes too deep. You're doing a good job zoning there, actually. You were too far away to make it over to ETC. Zoning off the damage dealers is worthwhile. You guys might actually win this fight. So this is... I'm not sure what level of play this was. That was a good job on Vala. Yeah, you just want to run away now. That's nice damage on her. That takes her out of there for a while. I think you definitely want a Hearthstone and come back with your Burrow. You definitely don't want to stay here too long. I mean, you need to go back for mana anyway. Oh yeah, that's never going to hit the Vala. Whoa, what the hell? Okay, Healing Ward. I mean, there's lots of bad talent builds here. Also, I was thinking now, I'm not sure what... Let me just check your email. I'm not sure what level of play this is at. Oh, okay, it's in silver. Yeah, I was gonna say it's fairly low level of play. There's like lots of mistakes happening here in terms of things. So right here, for example, this is bad. That's bad, right? Tapping your well, it's not good. After the tribute, after the first tribute, like you've got some downtime. You've got some guaranteed downtime. I think it's about a minute until the next one is going to spawn, right? It's not going to spawn straight away. So after that tribute is a really good time for you to Hearthstone. It's the rhythm of Heroes of the Storm, right? Is that, you prepare for the objective, you're soaking the lanes, you push out the lanes, you take mercs, you fight over the objective. There's a big team fight, the objective happens, whoever wins and whatever happens with the objective. In this case, you fight over the tribute, you take a tribute. Once that tribute is taken, given that, like, let's say both teams, certainly early game with the first tribute, you take the first tribute, you go straight back to laning, right? That's when you can like Hearthstone because there's nothing much happening on the map. That's when you take mercs in preparation for the next tribute, all that sort of stuff. So right there, for example, you fought that tribute, you walked away with low health and mana. That was a really good opportunity for you to just Hearthstone out and burrow back in, right? The only thing you lose is your Burrow cooldown, but it's going to be your Brush Stalker cooldown. I should say Brush Stalker because this is Burrow. If you use the Brush Stalker, you're going to be back in time. Like the Brush Stalker cooldown will be back up by the time there's a next tribute. So it lets you Hearthstone heal up, come back to lane. You basically lose no time. Yeah, Brush Stalker's down, but it's going to be back up by the time there's an objective. So you're going to be ready to go for the next objective, and you're going to have your Healing Fountain cooldown. Instead of using, Hearthstone and Brush Stalk back in, you went and you tapped your Healing Fountain. What this means is that you're not going to have your Healing Fountain, unless the fight lasts a really long time. You're probably not going to have your Healing Fountain available, and your Brush Stalker has just been unused, right? So you've used a really long cooldown. You've used a 120-second cooldown when you could have used a 50-second cooldown instead. So that's not too good. It's not too good at all. In terms of talent builds, you went for a Hero Stalker. I mean, there might be something to be said for Hero Stalker. I mean, it's not too bad, right? It's not too bad. I think, like I said, I think One Who Collects is better overall. Hero Stalker is certainly going to be better at lower levels of play, where it's much more of a bloodbath and people die a lot. But I think One Who Collects is a bit better. Gone for Symbiosis then. Again, not a huge fan of this talent, because I think Feeding Frenzy is better now. Unless you're going into Primal Swarm. I think, you know, Symbiosis Primal Swarm, it's not terrible. I think that is what you go for, and it's not terrible. This is a good burrow, by the way. Okay, you missed the drag. Okay, we got the drag. It's kind of delayed. Alright, Jaina does die. Good. Alright. I would say right there, you want to be going in and using that drag immediately. So that was a good brush stock in. Enemy team were not prepared for it. I'd say just following up with the drag more quickly. Alright, this is, I mean, you could die here if you're not careful. Alright. Bit clunky there. Bit clunky. Often, you know, you probably want to pop your D before you burrow in and just have that all that healing ticking away while you're doing that. But yeah, that was pretty messy. Gank right there. You guys overstayed. Now, not fully your fault that the Ragnaros died, right? But certainly going for that kill. I mean, you weren't actually gonna kill them unless they really screwed up. So that was definitely a little bit overzealous. Again, you've got your brush stalker cooldown. It might be worth. It probably is worth for you to try to lane against the Illidan as well and try to stop the Illidan. It'd be difficult enough for your teammates to stop him. You're gonna have a much better, job of actually beating up the Illidan. So that's definitely something to watch out for. All right, drag missed. Don't really want that to miss. One thing you could do, I mean. Again, right here, you've got full HP and mana. It doesn't matter right now, right? But let's say you're on 60, 70, let's say you're on 70% HP and mana. If you're planning to burrow in to fight over a tribute, and you do want to fight over this one, you've got level 10, and this will be a curse for you. So this is a really good snowball opportunity. You can Hearthstone and then go burrow straight in. I mean, it's the same as burrowing from down in the lane. You just miss a few seconds in the lane. But getting, you know, 20% extra HP or mana back can be a big difference. Again, it doesn't matter here, but... okay, this is a good spot to burrow into. I like it. Hopefully Nazebo will actually go in and start taking that. He's just chilling. He's just chilling there. There we go. He's doing it now. There you go. Good job, Nazebo. Awkward spot right there. You got interrupted with isolation, right? I was looking at the Nazebo, I didn't pay attention to that. But right there, you probably... It sucks that you lost it here. Given that you guys are level 10, you want to be forcing that fight a lot more. Awkward with isolation as well. If you had adaptation, you could dive through the Jaina damage and just dive their team. And try to keep Rag alive. Without adaptation, it's pretty awkward. Like, you don't really want to walk into that Jaina damage. It's kind of too much. Yming getting a lot of value. Dave's Vengeance, but not the other orb talent. Whoops. Whoops. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of isolation. Like, it might work. It's certainly fairly aggressive, but given that your team is pretty squishy, I think you're a little bit better off with adaptation and being able to soak some of this damage aggressively. Alright, drag missed. Also, unfortunately, like, if I throw in a quick pause here as well, I mean, if we look at your team and go, okay, who is going to be interrupting Mosh Pit? Li Ming, Li Ming ought to have Wave of Force, and she ought to be the one interrupting Mosh Pit. It's by far the easiest for her, because she's ranged, she's got teleport, she's not going to get caught in the Mosh Pit. Her heroics aren't that strong anyway, so yeah, that's usually the thing you want. Like, out of all the heroes in your team, she'd be the ideal one for interrupting Mosh Pit, so... Bit of a pity that she's not gone for that. It can be worth saying it to her, but she might just ignore you. Sulfuras Smash would also work as well, but he also doesn't have that. You might want to use Sulfuras a bit more opportunistically. It's a longer cooldown. But yeah, Li Ming is really good against ETC because Wave of Force. I mean, 20-second cooldown that interrupts Mosh Pit is really good, basically. So yeah, but you don't have that. You got Isolation to interrupt it. It could be okay. Like, honestly, Illidan would be a better target for the isolation if you can get him caught in your team. Like, if you can predict, and you can predict a fair bit with his dives and stuff where he's going to end up, hit him with isolation, then he gets stuck in the middle of your team, and it can be an easy enough kill. That's a good drag. And like, unfortunately, your teammates missed the skill shots. He should, hopefully, yeah, Lily kills him. Alright, good. He does die in the end, but that was a very good drag on the Illidan. Illidan's been going really deep trying to invade, and that's definitely something that you can and should be looking to punish. It should be relatively obvious when Illidan leaves, and it's gone into, especially going into one of your merc camps, it should be pretty obvious, and you can definitely collapse upon and kill him. pretty handily, especially with Brushstalker for you. Alright, you finished your level 1 quest. It takes about 9 minutes or so to finish that. Okay, gonna steal their bruisers. This is alright. Ideally, this is something you wouldn't do. Ideally, you could leave you in the bottom lane. I think it's okay for you to come up here. Yeah, you really need to make a big play here. Oh, I missed the isolation. Okay, that was a bit of bad luck that isolation missed. Lily had Shrink Ray, so that's why, right? She got slowed down, so it's not too big of a deal. Right here, I think you probably... I think you should really be pushing down that keep. But yeah, like that was a really good example right there in that mid lane where you could force a fight very aggressively. Why? Because you know the Illidan is up top. I think the Rehgar and was the ETC were down bottom. They started obviously coming up then afterwards, but they were down there. So those two heroes that were super isolated, they're out there on their own. So that's a really good opportunity to go in and force a fight, catch them out of position. And you're right outside the keep with Bruiser Camp, so you can force that keep down and do a lot of keep damage off of those couple of kills. It's okay. Whoops, rooted, not good. Just outside the stun. It's lucky. Probably worth using Burrow to dodge that if needs be. That looks like Farsight, is it? Yeah, Farsight. No cleanse. Alright. So you got the boss. That's okay. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to kill the Illidan. You might waste a lot of your time if he's good. No, he's just gonna beat on the fort and die. Alright, cool, that's great. So it doesn't waste any of your time. Free tribute for you. You guys should go and do your boss now. Yeah, there you go. I like that. That's good shot calling. So yeah, I mean, denying that boss to the enemy team is not too bad, right? It's not too bad to take their boss. I think, you know, this is not good, the Rad. I think taking just keep damage, I think he had a really good opportunity to do loads of keep damage. So that would have been preferable. But oh well, Ragnaroses. At least destroy the keep before you die, my friend. This is very unfortunate. You're doing really good shot calls here. Like, taking that boss is really obvious and really easy for you guys to do. The enemy team is so far away in the top half of the map. Unfortunately, your team were very slow to listen to you. But you did the right job. You're doing the right thing. You know, pinging to go on the boss is the good call. It's the right call. You will get a boss out of it. Ultimately, definitely slower than you would have liked. But still, you know, hey, the top keep is almost dead. You've got a boss now down bottom. You got that tribute. You should be in a really good position to get the next tribute. It's unfortunate that... What is going on here? Alright, cool. Nice one. Good kill. Alright, rip Illidan. Silver things. Just silver things. Okay. Alright, yeah, you could have killed this... maybe could have killed her. Maybe. So your team's gonna get the tribute, so that's good. But you are ultimately gonna die. You can pop your W while you're burrowed. You're gonna burrow out. I love it. I love it. They didn't have an interrupt. Alright, nice. Not bad, not bad. So you lose in Zevo. Alright, you're up here. You're chilling. Gonna get the... Alright, cool. It's probably worth for you at this point running up and clearing that top lane. Like, if we look here, you can see on the mini-map, you can see the size of the mini-waves, but it's a bigger wave built up for the enemy team, so it's going to be slow pushing in. If you destroy this wave, it will slow push into the keep, and, you know, killing this wave will probably destroy the keep or draw someone away, and they already have to deal with the boss. There's even a fight going on down here. If you look at Greg, it's going to pop into Molten Core. So for you right now, like, destroying this top wave, super easy for you to do, would be the most valuable thing. What's going on down here? I'm curious. We should hop back. Okay, look, they sent Illidan up top. Alright. We'll hop back to your vision and see what you're looking at. Alright. And this is the problem with Dehaka. You're just like walking down. Like, I'm going to walk you to death. Prepare. Prepare to die. I am Dehaka. Look at me walk at you. Mwahaha, be afraid. I'll get there one day. One of these days. I mean, you don't really want to force a fight anyway, because Nazebo's only respawning. Well, that didn't hit. Yeah, okay, Illidan is top. YOLO Illidan split push. Rip. Okay, missed that. Unfortunate. Was a good idea. It's bad execution. This is another good... Yep, good drag. I like it. Oh, Lily. Oh, Lily. Rip Lily. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Okay, we got the drag range. That could have gone better. Again, it's, you know, it's a pity to... Alright, Li Ming gets a kill in return because ETC over chases. Rag is still down there. He might do okay if he hits the Vala. Oh, so close. Yeah, alright. I mean, Ming might even get some kills. She's got not much mana. You can't see. That's a pity. I mean, it was a bit of bad luck there. Well, out of your control, right? The Lily walked into Ring of Frost and then the Vala stun. She got stuck in the Vala stun because she was in the Ring of Frost. That kind of sucks. Good news is that Nazeebo killed the Illidan. Right there, you know, I think you did most of what you could in the team fight. Obviously, it started off on a bad foot because you missed the isolation. But you did a good thing dragging the ETC. Yeah, you got stuck in the mosh pit. It's just bad luck that, you know, Lily and the Jugs were completely stuck and isolated. If Lily had been outside, it might have worked out well. That's a good isolation on the Vala. Decent stun. Yeah, I mean, it's just a new Dehaka. You're not going to have enough damage to kill her there. I mean, she should probably escape with her movement speed, so... Yeah, not too much you can do in that sense. Alright, I mean, you guys are still ahead, right? You're up 1 tribute. You're up 1 level. Their top keep's almost dead. I think you're definitely under-prioritizing split pushing top as Dehaka. Like, you're pushing bottom a lot. So much better. Like, you really want to create some top right. Yeah, so you've noticed that the keep is really low. You can just keep drawing them away. Like, they have to defend that lane, the minions, to stop that keep dying. So you can create a lot of pressure there by doing it. Now, this is not great, right? Nazeebo's really far away. So this is not good. This is really not good. Alright, Rag gets fuck tons of damage. That's great. Now he's going to probably die. He's just stuck in all that. Yeah, he's just going to stand in it. Luckily, ETC dies. Probably worth using Burrow there to dodge that. Lily may survive here. Oh, she stopped to tap the well. Micro's hard. Micro is hard. Alright, decent isolation. This Illidan is split pushing as well. I mean, your teammate should be killing that Jaina off to the side. It's just a solo Jaina versus a Li Ming and a Nazeebo. That should be pretty easy. You can keep going in here. Illidan is nowhere near right, so... well, Li Ming's out of mana, and she's just missing a bunch of skill shots. Whoa, what's that burrow? That burrow is not a good burrow. I mean, you'd be almost as quick walking, right? Okay, right over here. You definitely want to be pushing to the right-hand side. There's no one on the left-hand side. Alright, they're cursed. That's nice. You need to just make sure that top keep gets destroyed. Mid, yeah, pushing mid is good. You don't need to take their boss yet. Oh, alright, nicely done by Li Ming. Almost gets the kill. This should be at least 2 keeps for you. So that's really nice. Lily went back. Okay. You know what? Your dying here is not the worst. This is just, again, I think you made the right call, you know, to push in mid. Your teammates didn't follow up. Nazeebo is off getting himself killed to the side. It looks like both your teammates here are gonna die. Well, Li Ming's gonna live. Nice. Rhaegar got killed. That's actually fine. That's fine. So, you know what? Like, it was kind of awkward because your teammates went back to defend against the Illidan. Like, you kind of sent too many teammates to defend against Illidan. But ultimately, you got a couple of kills, so that is nice. That's even another kill, so that's nice as well. At this point, your team should take your own boss, I think. Taking the enemy's boss is a bit of a risk. Taking your own boss should be pretty easy. You have Ragnaros at Molten Core, can defend it as well. You can burrow in 20 seconds, so that's great. I mean, Illidan can hunt in as well. But this is a great time for you to ping your own boss. Very easy to take your own boss. You don't need to fight over the next tribute anyway, because it doesn't matter. And basically, like, I'm throwing a quick pause. Basically, at this point in the game, it's going to be at least 2 tributes until the curse activates. 3 more for you. The enemy team is down 2 keeps. So at this point, the 2 bosses become like the big win condition, right? They're the big win condition. So what your team can do is you can take your boss very easily, very safely, because they got 2 very much dead. So easy take on your boss. And then you can pressure their boss. Their boss will win you the game, because it's going on to a naked core. If they try to defend their boss, you'll get a keep. So you can just stall out, you can bait around it. So that can definitely be something worth doing. Yeah, pull back to our boss. They have no tank for 40 seconds. Yeah, this is a good idea, but you've waited too long to say it, and your team are like committing to a push on core that they can't win. Ooh, Li Ming is going to sit in that whole thing. Alright, great. They got a kill. That's actually nice. You don't want to be down here, though. You don't want to be down here. You want to be with your team if they're committing to that. Your team's committing to core. You're going to try 1v1 in Illidan. And you are losing that fight very badly. Yeah, this is just... Whoops. Yeah, you're going to die. Okay, you dragged a minion. Not good. And you're dead. Right. Now, unfortunately, Zebo is doing a Siege Giant. Your team's on core. I mean, they really shouldn't have killed that Jaina, but they got the kill. If you burrowed in and joined your team, you would have been so much better off. You might have even won the game right there. But yeah, you going down to that bottom lane, that's a huge mistake. And you just solo died against Illidan in a fight that you opted into. That's a massive mistake. There isn't any point. That's a nice mosh pits miss. That's good. But there's no point in fighting him out there anyway. I mean, just fight him at your keep. There's no point in fighting him in the middle of the lane. He can just walk away. Hey, Winions might even win you the game. If I remember correctly, they do not. Okay, more minions spawn. Yeah, Jaina respawns. Yeah. Okay. 24% on that. Again, like, you just want to take your boss at this point. You just really need to group up and take your boss. Awkward. That was a very awkward death from you. Oh man, that sucks. That really sucks. So that was totally in your control to avoid that. Oh wait, Nazebo has not finished his quest, but soonish. You got Apex Predator. The choice is simple. It's okay. We'll see if you actually make use of it. Or not. Fighting over this tribute is possibly doable. It's a bit of a risk. This is a bit of a risk. I mean, Illidan's dead, but he can hunt in, right? Ragnaros is nowhere near. They're doing their boss, yeah. I was gonna say, we haven't seen them on the map in a long time. Alright. Now this does get kind of awkward. Yeah, he needs to not do that. Illidan's gonna hunt to the top. Okay, cool. You guys could go core now and win the game. Probably. He's trying to use Molten Core to damage the core. It doesn't work. This is such a mess. You definitely don't want to fight that Illidan again. You just lost to him. You don't want to Hearthstone out. You want to... disaster. Alright, your whole team is just splitting around and doing nothing. This is really bad. This is a huge throw. And this is why I wanted to cover this video. I mean, you've had the win condition in your boss for so long now. You guys just need to group up and actually do it. This keep is dead for sure. This keep is dead for sure. I missed the drag on Illidan. I mean, it doesn't matter. The boss will kill the keep anyway. So you guys are going to be down a keep now. On the enemy's boss lane. So whenever that boss respawns, that's an easy win condition for them. Who's going to go on core? You gets killed by the core straight away. Oops. Well, rip Illidan. Okay. You should have left that. Again, this is a mistake by your team. Right here as well. Right, look at the boss, look at the core. Right, you've got a whole ton of shields on the core. It doesn't matter, especially with Illidan being dead especially, it does not matter if your core kills the boss with this many shields or if it kills the boss with like 1% shields left. The core will tank up quite a lot of that boss, right? You want to leave it to do so. I mean, the boss is almost dead. It's gonna die to the minions and to the core itself without doing core damage. You want to get your ass down to this tribute as quick as possible. Getting a second point in this tribute, Nazebo might interrupt this sometime, he might die. Yeah, but like your team should be here sooner and you should be here sooner to do this. You want to get that Jaina. Alright. Messy. You need to pop your heal like a year ago. Yeah, you're gonna die without any of your heal popped. Yeah, that's a huge disaster. That's a huge disaster. You guys just lost a 4v4 with no kills. So you're too slow rotating down. Because you guys were you spent too long defending the boss and then we're in this big panic to get down here. And then also, you know, just paying the price of having nothing that can interrupt a mosh pit. I mean, that's just something you need to do. Well, I mean, you had it. You have the perfect mosh pit interrupter in the draft. You just didn't take the thing. It might be worth it, Silver, like telling the Li Ming, hey Li Ming, can you take Wave of Force and interrupt mosh pits? Be really awesome, free the rest of us up. Now that's one of your win conditions are gone, so there's no bosses for a few minutes now. unfortunately. This one's really not going to matter unless this goes crazy long. This boss matters a lot. And unfortunately, it's on the enemy side of the map. So now you're in a really tough spot where the enemy can take their boss in 2 minutes 30 and it's difficult for you to stop. Also, a tribute probably wins the game for them as well. So yeah, this is pretty rough. And there's no way for you guys to stop this tribute, more than likely. So yeah, this is not good. Wait, Illidan's gonna hunt in. Okay. Okay. He's gone on the core? Oh, Illidan. Oh, Illidan. Anyway. I mean, he's almost gonna get the shields, right? Okay, dude, this gives you guys a chance. Honestly, you should probably just run to the enemy's core at this stage. I don't even know what you can do. This has been such a mess. It's such a throw. This is definitely something, like, you could improve this so much with proper shot calling, like getting your team organized. I know you tried. You tried pretty well in this game, I'll give you that. But definitely like some proper shot calling on things like that would be a good idea. You definitely, yeah. And this is a big mess. Lily's just dead. Your son gets interrupted. Alright, this is game over. Rep, GG. It's been fun. Yeah, big throw. Your team are just split in multiple ways. I think you could have pushed core and won the game there with the Illidan death timer. Definitely, like, it's like the problem here as well as Dehaka. It's right, you're chasing the enemy team and they're just walking away, and it's like, what can you do? Not much, really, not much. You're just watching them as they walk away, slowly killing your entire team with skill shots. Also the problem with solo healer Lily as well. And yeah, I mean, there's quite a few problems in this. I mean, like, Ragnarok's never finished its quest, a bunch of stuff. Yeah, this game was a massive throw though. Like, you guys had this one, and then you just didn't go for the bosses as the win condition. Okay, well, Illidan, like, this is this Illidan is so bad, and you're gonna lose to it, probably. You need to destroy catapults. You need to destroy catapults. Yeah, their boss is gonna be active. You know what? Maybe you could win now. They're dead for a long time. Again, it sucks that you don't have like a hero with proper engage that could jump on and kill the Vala. I mean, rushing the enemy core is probably the best thing to do, to be honest. I mean, it's either fight over their boss or rush their core. Alternatively, you could one thing you do that would be pretty sneaky, right, is just like wait in the, I don't know, wait in the brush over here. Have someone like you scout them out on the boss, and you burrow down and your team just rushes core when they've committed like halfway to the boss. And I mean, it's probably guaranteed to work actually against silver level player, right? Is that they're gonna have the boss on half HP. Instead of going, oh shit, they're on our core, we need to go and defend. They go, oh shit, they're on our core, we need to defend. Oh, but first, let's kill this half HP boss. You could totally bait them with that. Pushing in the camp, that's fine, yeah. Unfortunately, they've all respawned, so this starts to get really messy. Took you a long time to get across this map. Clearing everything as you go. Illidan's gone to your base. Yeah, you just want to like dive him at the core now. Like, you need to just dive him real hard. You need to win this fight very quickly. Illidan's gonna win the game, but you've got 24% on that core. You guys are wasting way too much time. Alright, interrupt the mosh pit, cool. You need to be so much more aggressive with your positioning here on Dehaka. You're being really passive. I mean, you've got this massive heal. Yeah, it's just way too slow. So Illidan's gonna win the game. Okay. Well, I'll wait till it... Okay, right. It's basically over now. What you guys need to do right there... I mean, you've seen Illidan is pushing in top, right? You know it's a 5v4 down here. You've got Molten Core as well. Like, you need to push past these guys. You need to soak it up like you're the tank. You had 60 essence, right? You're so tanky. You need to push in, push them back, get in on this Molten Core and just like wipe them out, get onto that core, and you need to race it down before Illidan comes and destroys your core. Lily also should not have Heartstoned. So that sucks. But yeah. So that's what you guys need to do. But you're way too slow pushing in. Like way too slow. You need to push, super hard. I mean, you had the lava wave coming in as well, and you're just like, you're clearing minions and shit. You need to just run past. Lava wave will clear it. Get in on that core, get molten core up. Honestly, like the game had been a huge mess, right, for quite a while. For about probably the last 10 minutes or so, it was a huge mess. So yeah, I mean, you guys picked into the mess a lot. Again, like no mosh pit interrupt sucks balls. No good mosh pit interrupt. I mean, just yeah. I mean, Dehaka main tank. You're in a bad spot right from the start of the game. In terms of things that you could have done differently on Dehaka. Well, number one, okay, so a few things, right? Number one, I wouldn't be picking. Don't pick Dehaka as a main tank. Don't do it. He's the second warrior. He's your solo laner. He's the second frontline. He's not your main tank. He's never a main tank. He can't do it for the reasons I already covered in this video. So don't do that. You know, play a Nubkeks or Arthas. Arthas would have been amazing in this game. A Nubkeks would have been really good as well. Loads of really good options for your heroes. Variant really strong too. Loads of good options. Not Dehaka. Number two. I think he actually did a pretty good job shot calling, especially for silver level. Definitely like above silver level in terms of shot calling. I would have done it a bit more. You know, like I don't know. Like to be fair, you made the right call a couple of times, like a really good call a couple of times, and your team simply didn't respond to it or didn't answer it. So I mean, you can making. I don't know what else you can do in that situation if they just don't listen. I guess try to be a little bit more forceful. You know, like ping it a couple of times, say like whole team down here, or I don't know. Just letting your team, even telling them like, I know this is a lot to ask for silver, right? But telling them like, okay, tributes don't really matter anymore, guys. We need to fight over the bosses. One of them is dead. Let's grab this boss. It's kind of advanced. I honestly think you're doing a really good job and better than silver level in terms of shot calling and the map calling, so that's okay. Also forgive the talent build. Like, I don't love the talent build. I don't think it's that great. But then I'm also like, all right, that's fair enough. Because again, like this hero was literally just reworked. So, I mean, until a couple of days, like I'm not even sure about the talent build myself because he was just reworked. And he is the lowest win rate, one of the lowest win rates warriors now in the game. So, to be fair, it's hard to know exactly what to pick with him. But yeah, definitely you need to be playing, if you are going to play Dehaka, please, you have to play him as a solo laner. You have to be using that global. You could see the problems with Dehaka as the main tank, I think, quite a lot in that game in terms of not being able to engage, not being able to follow people. And yeah, don't fight Illidan solo lane in the middle of nowhere and he 1v1s you. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Again, somewhat forgivable because of the new Dehaka. But yeah, that's pretty awkward. That's not a mistake that you can afford to make. But yeah, I think there you go. I'd be very interested to see some more tanking gameplay from you in the next video. I'll be very interested to see that. In terms, like, especially in terms of engages and stuff. Like, that was one thing that's hard to judge in this video because you're on a tank that can't really engage except for flanking. For instance, on that last fight where you really need to push in and engage super hard, you weren't doing that. So I'd be super interested to see on a tank that can actually engage and start a fight, whether you would be taking the fights that you need to take. That's definitely something you could improve upon. I'll mention like the other talent builds and stuff in this game as well. I mean, this one's a bit like they're all kind of all over the place, right? Like Li Ming has all the orb stuff, but not the orb cooldown reduction. I mean, orb build is bad in the first place, and then you know, no wave of force against an ETC is pretty bad as well. But you can just sit on the level 10 until he picks Mosh Pit, and if he picks Stage Dive, then you can pick Disintegrate if you need it. But that's pretty bad. Rag's build's okay. I mean, Sulfurous Smash is better, and Lava Surge is really shit. But I mean, he didn't finish his level 1 quest until right at the end of the game. That's not good. Not good. The Lily thing is kind of all over the place. I mean, I don't know. It's too depressing to cover all these. They're all bad builds, basically. They all suck. They're all pretty terrible. So, yeah. Anyway, I mean, that's something, obviously, you know, at silver level, if you bring the right talent build, and you can find that through my Twitch chat, like just !Dehaka, for example, !Dehaka, I think it's Li Ming, like that. Or it might be !Li Ming, I forget. But anyway, you can find the talent build, so that can set you up obviously at better than silver because there's lots of bad talent builds and stuff here. But yeah, it sucks to lose against this Illidan. It sucks to lose. I'll be looking forward to seeing your next game. This one was a big throw. I don't think you were... In terms of your gameplay, once you got in the game, I think you did a decent job. There were certainly things you could improve upon, but for the most part, I think you did a decent job within the game itself. I think the worst mistake you made was picking Dehaka as the main tank in the first place. So yeah, there you go. Guys on YouTube as well, you give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed. And I will see you all next time for some more Heroes of the Storm. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.